So good, so good, so good.
Everything you want for summer is at Nordstrom Rack stores now, and up to 60% off. Stock up and save on the brands you love like Vince, Sam Edelman, Frame, and Free People. Join the Nordy Club to unlock exclusive discounts, shop new arrivals first, and more. Plus, buy online and pick up at your favorite Rack store for free. Great brands, great prices. That's why you Rack.
You said this place was steps from the water.
We just haven't found the steps yet.
How much did we save?
Enough.
Enough to get lost?
Or you could book a stay with Hilton.
Welcome to your oceanfront room, just steps from the water.
The Hilton sale is on now. Book on Hilton.com or the Hilton app and save up to 20% to get the stay you expected. When you want savings, not surprises, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Everyone, for picture! First positions, everyone! Yo, go!
And action! Hello and welcome to episode 364 of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie film to studio films and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to royally F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. Today on the show, we have director and writer and actress Nadine Crocker. She's here to talk about her rather fantastic feature film, Desperation Road, which she shot in 16 days, which stars Mel Gibson, Garrett Hedlund, and Willa Fitzgerald. She sits down with Dom Lenoir because I was away in Austria filming at the time. Dom is away right now filming, so we can't do the intro. So we're flip-flopping for you for this one. But Nadine, I've just edited it and she's incredible. It was a really, really brilliant chat the two of them had. Nadine talks about how she raised finance for her first film, Continue, how she learned to wear all the hats, and how she went from acting in the film to directing and writing it, and how it felt like film school for her. She also talks about how she managed to persuade Cassian Elwes on as a producer on her films. Now, Cassian Elwes, if you don't know, is the producer of movies like The Butler, Mudbound, and I Origins. She also talks about working with her rather fantastic producer Michael Ferris Smith, why she took time working on the script, trauma, and creating threads inside the words. She talks about casting and depth, what her pitch was like to Mel Gibson, how she spoke to him on the phone, and how you should write letters to actors. She talks about staying present and why you need to know your shit on set. And she also talks about being a suicide survivor and how that has influenced her work, and why a director is only as good as their collaborators. And not only does she give some amazing advice for filmmakers starting out especially, she also talks about why being overprepared and knowing answers is vital, and why she doesn't show her lookbook ahead of time to her crew. Like I mentioned, Nadine Crocker's first film as a director and writer and producer was Continue, but before that she'd acted in various feature films and TV, including Supergirl and Cabin Fever. But it's Desperation Road which has really put her on the map, not only as a writer and producer, but as a fantastic director to watch as well. This is an action thriller that Dom absolutely loved. He loved this film and he raved to me about it, and his chat with Nadine afterwards as well. And it totally makes sense, and you will learn why once you've heard it. And if you do like it, do jump on our Twitter and our socials and spread the word about this podcast and Nadine's film Desperation Road and get it seen. She shot this film in 16 days, people. 16 days with this level of talent. Check out the trailer if nothing else, because I'm about to play it now. But why not watch along at the same time? If you can do that, if you want to pause it and try and set them off. I don't know why you would, but anyway. But just before I play the trailer, next week we either have The Killer team. This is David Fincher's latest film, The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender, and we have on his team. We did this 2 years ago, year and a half ago on Mank as well, and we got his production designer, his DOP, and his makeup and costume team, and we've got a similar setup this time. So it's either the team who made David Fincher's The Killer. Or we've got Nandor Fodor and the Talking Mongoose director and writer Adam Siegel and the producer Claire Bateman King. So it's either one of those two next week. We will work it out in the middle of the week. I don't know yet. But for now, don't want to waste any more time. This is the director and writer of Desperation Road, Nadine Crocker, talking about how she got it made. It's an absolute belter. But first of all, I'm going to play the trailer of Desperation Road for you to get you in the mood. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What are you doing?
Going back to my room. I didn't do nothing.
Y'all never do.
What are you doing?
Welcome home. What happened to your face?
Just a little going away present from the boys.
They let you out early. You ain't out of my reach, boy. You're being awful hard on yourself. We can be forgiven.
What's going on here?
Ain't no point in keeping it a secret. One of our own shot with his own pistol, which we can't seem to find.
I want to stay with you, and if we're going to stay together, we have to go right now.
Don't move. Get in the truck. Turn on the car and drive.
Oh, I think I'll hold on to that. This ain't your gun.
Just give it back to me.
I will. You tell me who it belongs to.
I shot him until he wasn't moving no more.
I know a place you can go. Somewhere safe. If I'm going to trust you, you're going to have to trust me.
What the hell is going on?
Need that old place. I'll explain everything later.
All right, I got your back.
A woman came into the shelter, a little girl. Now, a lady working there said she found a pistol on her before she took off running. I just need to know if Russell stayed here with you the night before last.
As far as I know, he was here.
We got one brother dead. I ain't looking to be another.
Seems like you and I were tied together by some sort of invisible rope. Just do the best you can for right now. You don't worry about tomorrow until it comes.
David, somebody help us!
Life's a whirlwind. We're all caught up in it.
Cool. Have you got the pop-up to accept recording come up?
Yep, I already pushed OK.
Oh, amazing. Great. Well, welcome to the Filmmakers Podcast. I was really excited to watch your film, actually, even from the trailer. It seemed like my cup of tea. And I think film noir especially is a really fascinating subject, especially when you kind of go into the neo-noir and the emotional side, which this really does have. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was absolutely captivating, brilliant performances, really distinct mood, and it just felt like a really polished film. So how are you feeling? It's out there in the world.
I'm feeling really good. You know, it's I mean, full disclosure, this is my first film's like release to the world. Like, you know, Desperation Road is actually my second film, but because of the strikes and the weird times, it actually beat my first film out. And you're like, so it's like that nerve-wracking feeling where you feel like you've been keeping this secret for so long and you're so ready to like share it, but you're also like, holy shit, I'm sharing it. You know, it's that surreal ride of it all. But I'm really proud of what we created. You know, we did it in 16 days.
That's ridiculous.
Like, what you just watched.
That is ludicrous.
16 days.
I can't believe that.
So
nights as well, like 16 nights. I suppose, like, because a lot of it was at night time, which further complicates things, I guess, but also
100%.
gives it that mood. Yeah.
Well, but it's also, with our film in particular, it feels like a lot of night, but it was actually perfect splits. So
That's so interesting, because when I think of it, I immediately think like the mood and everything. I just think of night. So
dark and moody. I wanted you to feel that. I wanted you to feel isolated and like, God damn, is there ever some light in here? You know, but it actually was. So we had to perfectly time to where if we ran over at all, we didn't have enough daylight to get what we needed. And then we wouldn't have enough nighttime. You know, so it's just like, it's a constant mix of like like, oh God, you just never feel like you have enough time, money, or anything, especially on, a smaller film like this. And with us only having 16 days, it was like we had to make really hard decisions. I had to make very hard decisions. And, as a director, you prep so much stuff and you have this very distinct vision. And, for me personally as a director, I am like an over preparer. Like my AD team would laugh at me because they're like, okay, let's grab her binders. And it's like
okay, the sort of the tome of preparation with all your notes.
Literally. They like laughed, but they also respected the fact that like, because all that work you're looking at, like all those binders they're carrying, like that's done for free in the shadows when you're hoping you get to make this movie. Because when you actually get the green light, you're like, okay, now go find every location you need in a place you've never been with like crew you have, like you're still collecting. And like, oh yeah, you only have 3 weeks because of Mel's schedule.
And that really is like, I mean, going back to the schedule, I mean, I've done a film for 17 days and it was impossible. Like it actually is impossible because sometimes you're doing 4 to 8 pages a day or night. You've got stunts to deal with. I mean, you do have some really good stunts in your film and choreography and guns are involved. There just isn't enough time, even if you're just doing a single setup with actor versus actor. In terms of what the script was like, and then you're given the schedule and you're going through that process. Did you have to sort of cut anything back, or were you just like, right, we're just going to go for this? We'll find a way through, to get these number of pages done.
I mean, like legitimately, it was all of it. Yes, we had to prepare in a different way once we found out the schedule. They didn't tell me I had 16 days. I think they like were trying to keep me in the hope and glory of like, you're making your movie. Remember that. And on the flight, I'm like, yeah, it dropped from 30 to 25. And they're like, oh, but actually it's 16 now. And I was like,
I mean, that's a huge drop. That is a huge drop.
It is a huge drop when you only have 3. Okay. So, and also the month before, so I had gone and scouted all of Mississippi, like
amazing. Yeah.
My own pocket was like, no, I have to find this. I don't care. You guys like, we'll figure this out later. And a few weeks before we were leaving, they switched it to Kentucky.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, wait a minute. You're putting me in Kentucky. I don't have a single location now. I have 3 weeks to prep only because Mel has a hard out for other dates.
Yeah.
And I have 16 days to shoot a film, which has 2 car crashes, a sexual assault, a minor every single day of set.
Yep.
Gun, like you said, guns.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was just like
chaos.
Yeah, they basically were like, how does the math like add up? And like when you were just saying, oh wait, how many pages did you say you had to like do?
4 to 8 a day with stunts as well. Yeah,
I was just about to say. So exactly that feeling. Most days were like 9 to 10 pages a day. Yeah. Like there was days that were like even higher than that. I don't even want to like
some 12 pages.
Where you're like, this isn't the math. It's not possible. you know, like, how are we gonna do this? But what's funny is when you're in it, like, I don't know, do you feel this too? Like you were like, I mean, my DP looked more frazzled than I was, just kind of like did up my boots and was like, all right, here we go. Cause I'm like, I'm in it now. I've already left my family.
Yeah.
Now all there is not sleeping, not eating, no water, work 24 hours a day. And like, and you're just game because you're still so happy to be there. But it's overwhelming of like, oh my God, how exactly do I start changing the vision to morph to this?
I think there is just like there's a base level of stress that if you're even remotely human, you'll be feeling. But I mean, but at the same time, I feel like there's also this part of it that's just, you just switch off to the not what's happening tomorrow, what's happening the next day. You just focus on the scene and you get the scene done, and then you get the next scene done. And in the back of your mind, when there's only that number of days, you just have to. It's just like, well, we'll just have to get it, and that just seems to be. And I feel like the crew. If you've got the right crew around you, they'll just kind of fall in and they'll somehow make those miracles work, and you'll just find those solutions. And it's it's incredibly challenging.
It's an incredible thing though when a team joins together for the common, dream essentially, because it was like all of us were like, this this story is not possible in 16 days.
Mm.
We all said it. And then we're like, okay, but now how do we make it possible?
Yeah, exactly.
And it was just like no one was sleeping. No one was we were all working around the clock to make this dream happen. And my cast was just as committed. And it's just like you kind of go from how are we going to do this to, all right, we're doing this, you know? And it's like a beautiful transition when that happens. But it, you know, for those first few minutes, you're definitely like, and what you said, it speaks to me so deeply too, because I always joke and I'm like, you know, in my lifetime, I've had a lot of trauma. And I was like, it trained me.
Yeah.
Incredible director, because I have great fight or flight now.
Yeah.
So I can work in pure chaos and still be like, okay, as to where someone else might have an actual meltdown.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's such a, I mean, we'll go into the trauma of the characters and the, you know, the actual story as well. But I mean, what you said is such a fascinating insight. And it's always why I don't know if this kind of resonates with you, but I always feel like massively over challenge yourself on all your starting out projects, your shorts, aim, you know, incredibly high, because if you go through like crazy stressful stuff when you're, you know, training, or it doesn't matter so much when you get onto those features where it does matter, it's not the first time it's happened. You have been through stuff before, and there's a part of your brain that just sort of can turn an element of the stress off. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of my experience with coping with those.
Well, I think you're a genius and I love what you're saying, but for someone like me, I'm out of my mind. I went from acting, and then, you know, just a little backstory into like how I got here is my first film, Continue. I invested my life savings. Me and my husband raised every dime of capital. Yeah. We literally, and like right when we put ourselves through film school, essentially.
Yeah.
So I had never been behind a camera, and now I was doing a feature film in like Los Angeles, raising the money, doing all of these things. We wore every hat you can possibly have, and it was just like, but again, that training
it's invaluable experience, and so many directors don't go through that. They don't sort of go through all the different hats, and they don't sort of understand how all the different departments have troubles. So I mean, that must have, you know, stood you in incredible stead. So I mean, just to sort of go back to the start of this film specifically. So you'd made that film, that was your kind of first project where you put your life savings in. How did this project specifically come to you, and what was the kind of the origins of, you know, getting it made, basically?
Yeah. So Cassian Elwes, who is an incredible producer, Lee Daniels the Butler, Dallas Buyers Club, Blue Valentine, like he's, you know, an incredible indie producer, and he was an EP on my first film, Continue. And
okay.
And when he saw, you know, he really just took me under his wing and kind of like, you know, was like, I vouch for this girl, but I think he also was like, let's see what she can do, you know. And when he first came to my film's screening, that when I was locking the cut on my first project, he was so emotionally rocked, and it was kind of like one of the best days of my life, because like you're showing someone something that you created and that they helped you to create, and you just want them to like it. And when he was so emotionally rocked, it just kind of was like everything I ever had hoped for. And from that blossomed this really close friendship between me and him.
Amazing.
And he really like took me under his wing and was like, we have to keep creating together. You know, I want us to make movies together.
Yeah.
And so through that, he brought me several scripts, and I'm very, very particular.
Yeah.
I was getting many offers at that time, and mind you, like we needed the money, but I'm very particular about what I will attach to, because for me, and with my backstory and Continue being my true story of like surviving a suicide attempt and just like all of these different things in my life. So for me, my voice, I really wanted the films I do to matter, to have a message, all of these things. I'm very particular. And so he had brought me a few things and it hadn't worked out yet. And then he brought me Desperation Road. And I read the script several times. I read the book, and I had gathered, like, I have a lot of thoughts when I come onto anything. I think like any director should have a lot of thoughts, because we have very strong point of views and like things that are very important to us, you know, like for me, I'm a mother. So the most important thing to me was the mother-daughter relationship in that film. And, you know, and I also feel that every character, it's a waste of a character if they're not likable. Like everyone can be likable if we can relate to them. If we can understand a little bit about what drives them, you know. So Larry was very important to me. So it started the journey, and you know, for me it was like, okay, well, next steps will be I sit down with Michael and I see how receptive he is to my notes. And because he's seen my first film, he was so receptive because he really respects my work. And so a beautiful collaboration started, and from there we just really jumped in with both feet into cultivating the script to be what I believed it could be.
How did you actually meet him in the first place before he sort of came across your film? Like how, because I mean, that's a really important relationship in terms of getting this made. How, you know, just to jump back just that tiny bit of the anecdote beforehand, like how did you first meet? Like what was it that first sort of drew him to you?
Well, Cassian is who told Michael, like, because Michael Ferris Smith and Cassian have already done a film together. Based on his book, The Fighter, but the name of the film is called Rumble Through the Dark.
Yep.
And so they worked together. And then Michael gave him the script for Desperation Road, and Cassian read it and was like, there's only one director I can see for this. Like, and I think that she'll actually love this one because she's a mom, because she, you know, all of the things.
Yeah.
And so, preemptively, Cassian gave Michael a link to the film and was like, you know, I don't know if she'll do it. I don't know what the deal is, but like you could watch her work so that when you guys sit down, you guys are familiar with each other's work. Because obviously he knows how I am. Like I'll read every book before we're having a meeting. You know, it's like I'm an over preparer.
Yeah.
And so he watched the film, and that's how we were brought together, all through Cassian trying to, you know, bring it together to see if we can make this film.
And so what was it that you did want to input as your like own stamp in terms of like some of the notes once you'd got this script? I mean, what was it that was like you wanted to personalize it and really develop before sort of making it your own? I'm
also very, very particular about story, and I'm that woman who turns on a movie and like within 10 minutes I can tell you exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
I'm like literally it drives me crazy when I'll read a script and on page 10 I'm like, it's hidden here. Like you use this word twice to describe, like I see it, you know. You didn't hide your breadcrumbs, I see it. So for me it's like I came in with a lot of story. I came in with a lot of character. I have, you know, mental health stories are also really important to me. So it was clear that Larry was struggling, but like instead of, you know, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. Instead of him just being a jerk, I wanted him to have a perspective, to have like real grief he's battling with, mental health, you know, all of these things. And like the book, if you've read the book, it's left very open-ended. The, you know, like without saying it's not negative, it's just a different it's just a different relationship between the mother and the daughter. The mother is just kind of in pure survival mode. So like she'll run, leave the little girl behind and like do things. And I was like, hell no, you know, like that little girl needs to be in her arms. She needs to be doing this. And like things silly as like, you know, maybe you noticed in the film that there was crayons and it was like a big theme. Like I had brought that in the scene where the crayons are initially like shown was they were picked up at a diner and they were free, you know? And so it was to show that something that means nothing to us that we all take for granted can be everything to a little girl who has nothing.
Yeah.
So, you know, like there's little things like that are important to me that like, you know, someone may never pick up on, but they might. I think a lot of the moms and a lot of the people watching like will, you know, it's like they understand, like, you know, there's some people that are like, she's trying to escape. Why would she go for crowns? And I was like, that's what a good mother does.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the things that's the strongest about this and why it's such like a powerful watch is that those central characters there is like a real connection to them through their sort of trauma. Was that sort of part of it from the start, like creating this this sense of hope from these very damaged people that sort of come together?
Yeah, I mean, essentially that's all of us. Like, that's why it's important to me. Like, all of my stories kind of are flawed individuals just trying to find their way in the world and figure this thing called life out. And so, like all of us, it's like we all go through trauma. We all carry it with us.
Yeah.
We all have flaws, but we're all also lovable human beings capable of incredible things. And we all are connected, you know, and an act of kindness can change an entire person's life.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that. Those are those little threads that I wanted you to feel throughout. That's why it was so important to me when I first sat down with Michael. It's like, no one is unimportant and no one is unlikable. And if Larry, like, I just use him as an example because it's like a very clear, like, he's obviously the bad guy, you know what I mean? But I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to identify with he is an extremely damaged person.
Yeah.
Who's been through high levels of abuse, he has then become the abuser. He has through high levels of grief. He's battling his own mental health, you know, and suicidal ideation. Like, you know, it's all of these things. It's a man unraveling, and through his unraveling, he's causing so much chaos in other people's lives.
And also it's this idea that no one's, I think that was what makes it very relatable, is that the bad guys aren't just, you know, carbon sort of cut out bad guys that are just sort of psychopathic and they don't have any feelings. You actually get to see I suppose the similarity in a way that all of these characters are kind of sharing is that they've had suffering in their past, and they're all kind of trying in their own way. So, I mean, in terms of the cast, I mean, they are so clearly defined, you know, the characters you've created. Did you always have those actors in mind? Like, what was the process in terms of casting, you know, the lead roles in this?
No, I didn't have them all in mind. I had Garrett, when I read it, Garrett Hedlund, I was like, that's Russell. Like, there's no world where that's not Russell.
I mean, he's incredible. Like, really, really
Oh,
good.
thank you. I agree with you. I think I've been a big fan of his for a very long time. I mean, I think all of his work, but Country Strong was like the first thing that I went, oh, holy shit, this guy has incredible depths. And like, as a director, the thing that I look at most, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Like, we can be saying like, I love you, that, whatever the words are. But this is telling us a whole different story oftentimes, because really, as human beings, we all pretend we're okay, or we all are doing this, that, and the other, but there's an inner battle that's always going. With Garrett in particular, when you watch him, there is so much going on that isn't being said. And for me as a creator, immediately I'm like pulled to the person, like, what are you know? So I was very pulled to his work for many years. And Cassian, by the end of it, was like, every project he offered me, he's like, let me guess, Garrett Hedlund. It's like a joke, but really, I just knew I needed to work with him, and we would love to collaborate, because like, I come from acting. So to me, there is nothing more important than performances, the actors, the characters, like all of those different things. Again, you can have 16 days and not get half of my shot list. But if you focus on those relationships and those performances, you can still have a very strong film.
Do you ever struggle with, like, sort of either producers or sales agents where they're like, oh, well, he's a good actor or she's a good actor, you know, they're well known, let's put them in the role, but they don't have that rawness. I mean, this is, you know, sometimes I feel like a broken record when I'm like saying, okay, you know, he's a great actor, like, you know, really, really good, but can he do Inner Turmoil? Are we going to feel something like that, or is it just going to look like a performance? And, you know, there's plenty of performances where that's great, but if you're doing a story like this, you know, you really have to go into that. Do you ever have those kind of pushback moments, or
all the time? Like, also, like, I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like, producers are also like, hi, my investor's a great actor. He'll also this. Would you like to put him in the movie? And you're like, no, not even slightly, but thank you. They're like, you don't want Steadicam every day? Not for that. Nope. Like, you just have to stand your ground so many times when you're like, yes, I would love Steadicam every day, but like, that's just not what I'm going to do. But yes, to answer your question, beyond like investors wanting roles, but like truthfully, other artists, I think as a director, for me personally, I have to be drawn to the person. I just have to
I agree.
This thing. And it's this intangible thing that you can't really explain to a distributor, to a producer who's like, yeah, but they finance your film. And I'm like, yeah, but not the film I want to make.
That's it. That's it. It's so hard to explain that. And it's almost like, because I suppose as a director, you have to get emotionally invested in the whole thing as well. So if you're not emotionally invested in your lead, who else is going to be emotionally invested in your lead? Like, you know, you might have a good film, but it's not going to have the depth that you want to sink a couple of years into. And it's such a vital thing. And I you know, it really is one of the most important. And that's why I think this is such a success, is because everyone has that. So how did you kind of cast the rest of the actors after Garrett? Was there a kind of, okay, we need to have this person to sell the movie? You know, what point did Mel Gibson come in? Those kind of questions would be interesting to
those
explore.
are the next steps. But the one thing I want to say before you do that too, I mean, before we move on from that, is we have to ask ourselves, is this something I'd stand by 10 years from now? I know I need a film, but like, because you know it's going to be part of your filmology like forever.
Yeah.
So like, if it's not someone you believe in and you skimp on this one thing, it's going to be the thing that haunts you for the next 10 years. Like, God, I know I could have, I know that movie could have been good and I should have stuck with my guns or whatever else. So like, that's what I always ask myself. At the end of the day, will I be proud of what I created? Because the truth is, we can't control if a critic likes it, if anyone likes it, if the world sees it, whatever they're like, you know, I always go back to like Fight Club got booed out of Venice. It was like deemed the worst.
Ridiculous.
I know. And so was like Raging Bull, things like that. So the truth is, and David Fincher, like literally said, like Edward Norton had this whole, and Brad Pitt had this interview where David just looked over at us and was like, you know, we know that we made a great film and it may take 10 years for other people to know that. And like, imagine sitting in the front row and getting booed at that film that inspired so many of us.
Yeah.
So again,
I'd boo that audience. Who is that audience? Like,
I know.
What kind of films are they watching? Like,
I know, but but the truth is people do love to not like things sometimes, and sometimes you can't really control that. So at the end of the day, we have to ask ourselves, if we get booed out of Venice, can we be good with what we created? And that's important. Yeah. So Mel was next. We had always known, you know, like straight up filmmakers listening, like men finance the film like more often than the women. So like, I think that the producers were like, okay, let's start here and then we'll find our way, you know? And so we had Garrett, and then it was like, okay, now we have the older male lead. That's where we're going to need to find more financing and like what. And Mel was suggested to us. And from the second we, like his agents or whoever suggested, it was APA that suggested him. We were like, holy shit, yes. Like, you know, it was, for me, I grew up watching his dramatic work and also revering him as a director. I mean, Braveheart, Apocalypse Now, I mean, Hacksaw Ridge. It's just, his work is deeply profound and emotional and all of the things. So it was very intimidating.
Even Lethal Weapon. that was the one. That was the one for me growing up. I was like, I always found that such a fascinating, you know, because again, it's not your everyday like happy go lucky character. It's someone that's got some real like issues going on.
Yeah, which is incredible. Like even his like comedic work had like deep levels of drama and beauty and character work. But I mean, think back, like Patriot.
Yeah.
Signs. Like he's been one of my favorite TV dads that you've seen like in movies, you know? So Yeah, he was suggested. He read the scripts. Him and his team all watched my first film. They were very supportive. Next steps were getting me and Michael Farris-Smith on the phone with Mel. And it was such a nerve-wracking day. You know? Like, your hands are trembling and you're so fucking excited, but also terrified.
I mean, you can prepare for that, but then you can't prepare for it as well. I mean, how do you prepare for chatting to Mel Gibson?
Yeah, literally. And like, mind you, he's like talking to us as he's walking through his house. And I'm just kind of like, oh, wow, look at that view. It's just like Mel Gibson on the phone with you, walking through his beautiful Malibu home and like talking shop. And you're like, holy shit, this is surreal. Take it in, take it in, take it in, because you'll never have those moments again, So as a human being, I try and stay really present and like grateful, So when I got off, I did my gratitude list and all of the things. And it's just like, it was such a cool moment. And we were on the phone for like 2.5 hours. Wow. It was a Zoom, And so, or actually it might've been FaceTime. I don't know. Either way, we were on camera phones and like all talking. And, it just went so incredibly well because he is a very supportive, very kind person. And if you have the right answers, if you know your shit, he respects that, and that's all actors. Like, it's not just Mel who if you have the answers and you are passionate, passion is contagious. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can be here and you can talk to people who are great directors or have made cool films, but like, they're kind of like meh about it. It's just like when someone's so excited by the opportunity, it is contagious. And that's something I've never hidden through the process of casting. And before any cast comes on, I write them a personalized cast letter, as I'm sure you and most directors do. It's like, hey, Garrett, this is why it's you. Hey, Mel, this is what I do. But I don't play it cool. We all joke, and we've now called them my love letters because like they are poetry.
It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to get the balance right because on the one hand, you want the actor to know, they are your favorite because of the X, Y, and Z reasons about their personality and their performance. But then at the same time, you also don't want to seem too keen, like where you're like, the sort of secondary school kid,
security.
Exactly. So it's a tricky balance. But I suppose those letters are your first attempt, I suppose, with your to connect with them on a personality level, because I suppose these actors, no matter how big they are, they're also thinking, can I work with this person? Are they reasonable? Where are they coming from?
And the letters, I try and show, I'm either going to be for you or I'm not. And I think you'll know that from the letters too, is like, I hold nothing back. I tell you my story. Like, by the end of it, I end it with like, I want to be the best and I will not stop until I am. And like, if you give me this opportunity, I will make you proud. I will and those aren't my exact words, but it's basically like, I don't mess around and I have big dreams and big plans. And like, you are a part of that. And I want your collaboration on this because like, I am going to kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but I'm also like halfway telling them my story. Like, those are chances to basically show them who we are in one page with very small font. I'm like, oh shit, this is 3 pages. Okay, it's size now,
Yeah.
And maybe it is a little bit of my past. Like, I'm a suicide survivor. Like and every single day I'm on this planet, I am absolutely thrilled that I failed and that I'm here living this life and I'm watching my dreams come true.
Yeah.
And like, I want it all to be for a purpose. And so the films I choose are all, that's why I say I watch entertaining films. Those aren't what I make. Like, I make movies that are going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Like, I want to make a film that sticks with you long after you leave.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want it to linger. I want to make you ask you questions about yourself, about what would you have done in that? Like, I want you think. And so I want creators who are excited by that and that will dive in and will be extremely vulnerable. And this can be a collaborative process. And I think you're right. Like, there are directors that are probably like, I'm the boss and this is this and and can be very seriously. But truthfully, in my opinion, a director is only as good as his collaborators. If shitty production designer, what happens to your vision? If you have a DP who can't stand working with you and isn't getting your vision, how great are your visuals?
Exactly.
Actors are not open because you're not letting them have a voice in this creation. How great are your performances going to be? It's like you can micromanage everyone and you can totally be the overlord and like, good for you, a pat on your back. But I find that you get people who are so keen to go to hell and back in 16 days because you value them. I value their opinion and their collaboration and finding these characters together and finding what my little whisper can manifest within them. They're bringing it to life and I get to witness that and I get to help and shape it and then shape it in the editing room. Like that's where, I truly feel like post, I didn't know how important post was.
So just before we get to post,
ready to soundtrack your summer? With Red Bull Summer All Day Play, you choose a playlist that fits your summer vibe the best. Are you a festival fanatic, a deep end DJ, a road dog, or a trail mixer? Just add a song to your chosen playlist and put your summer on track. Red Bull Summer All Day Play. Red Bull gives you wings. Visit redbull.com/brightsummer ahead to learn more. See you this summer.
At first, I didn't think it was real. I woke up to this blinding light, and I was transported to another place. Pluto TV. Then I heard a voice.
Come with me if you want to live.
There were thousands of movies and shows, and they were all free. The
truth is ours.
It's just so beautiful.
On Pluto TV, free streaming of Terminator 2, Fringe, Arrow, The 100, and The X-Files may cause excitement, loss of sleep, and sudden belief in extraterrestrials. No credit cards or alien encounters necessary. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Wishing you could be there live for the big game, soaking up the atmosphere of the crowd. But too often, life gets busy, or the price holds you back. Priceline is here to help you make it happen. With millions of deals on flights, hotels, and rental cars, you can go see the game live. Don't just dream about the trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer.
So just go back to just sort of to tie up the acting thing. We're talking about vulnerability, and it's not just a couple of moments like the sad scene or the reveal scene. Like there's sustained depth in the performances and extreme vulnerability, like from all of the sort of 3 or 4 leads in it. What is your process to get your actors to that point, like from that initial phone call with Mel or Garrett? Like how do you sort of develop? Is it conversations about the character's past, the choice? Is it going more into the story? Is it leaving them to it? Like how do you sort of get them to those places to create like deep emotions on set?
It's so funny. I go quiet. I'm like, it's kind of like, it kind of just organically happens. But in the sense of, I think because I come from acting, when I read a script, like I have this entire backstory that I've taken from these people's actions and from the things that I know. And like, again, why as a director, I probably always will do an aspect of the writing. Like I absolutely got very on and, was helping to cultivate and rewrite and do all of that, because I also think every scene should be revealing a little bit more of the story or where they come from or why it is that they do that. Or, so a lot of like, again, I use Larry as an example because I think it's a very tangible, but I did it a lot with the mother, with Russell, with all of these different things and lessons along the way. And, so and then I create this whole story, and the reason I think I use Larry is because me and Ryan did so much work on him. But it was like when I read him, I totally, from the second I read him, like was like, okay, this guy comes from a lot of abuse. He has, his father beat him. He took all of the lashings for his brothers. So his brothers really didn't feel like his brothers. They felt like his sons, he raised them. So losing that brother was like losing his son. And, then he found love and like, so I had said to Ryan, I was like, he's a fighting dog. put in a domestic situation and all he wants is to be loved and to be in that situation, but you can't have a dog that bites around children. So out of self-sacrifice.
Yeah, and that contradiction was so important to all of those scenes, wasn't it?
Yes, and then it all starts unfolding, and then like, and I was like, when you hear those dogs, like that inner dog, and like then Ryan does this howl. I just got chills talking about it. Yeah. He just howls from the depths of his soul, and and it's like, so you don't know how like this little thing that we create that will manifest and the actor can take it, but it's what they then start to create with that like, so again, it's a collaboration. I have ideas and I have these things and they have ideas in this and we build on top of that. And then, so we've done so much talking and like collaboration and exciting things of figuring out who they are before we get there, that it's like, when we're there, we're just kind of like, okay, we know who these people are, but this is the situation here. This is what you kind of are trying to like get across. This is our mission. Like, this is what this scene is accomplishing. Now fly. And like, I'm gonna be right there to capture it all. And I'm going to be very close to you. And like, I promise you, I'll get it all, and it's like, and that's how we move. And it's like, that's one of the things like I warned too. It's like, you have to be really cool with having a camera like 2 centimeters from your face. I want to be in there because that's where we get that little magic. And it's like, that's the stuff that excites me is we have thousands of pages of preparation, but that all gets thrown to the side. And then you're just in it and organically watching it unfold. And that's when magic that you couldn't have planned for happens. And it's so exciting to witness. And then you're just like, oh my God, that. And then we're like, what if it, and then it just keeps climbing and each take. Now on a 16-day film, you're talking 3, maybe if you're lucky takes. Realistically, some were 1.
Yeah, that's it. You get 1 or 2 or 3 takes all the time for each setup, which is just mad.
Like the father-son scene between Mel and Garrett got 1 take because that scene was like 18 minutes to run through.
Yeah.
Organically, and because I cut it down and sculpted, and like that's what we do. Like post, it's important because of that. Like not to jump to post again, but but Garrett got 1 take, and I'm so incredibly lucky. I'm working with profoundly talented actors because not everyone could have done that in 1 take, know. But because I saw what he did, I was like, we have it. And he's like, what? And I'm like, we have it. I promise you. It's been incredible to like start to discover is that really most of the time it has nothing to do with us. It has to do with how many scripts were already on their desk. They have to choose between 4 projects that are going at the same time.
Exactly,
and it's just tricky.
That's it. And I suppose that's a perspective that occurred to me as well. Maybe it's not that they don't like your script. It's that there's 2 other scripts that they personally identify with more. And, it's just a too difficult decision to,
or something they want to tackle because maybe
exactly. Yeah, maybe
their story.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, visually as well, it's a really stunning film. I mean, you mentioned about getting close to the actors, which I really sort of appreciate as well. I like sort of getting the camera close. It just looks beautiful. I mean, there's some incredible shots at sunset. It really gets you into this sort of cinematic, high budget feel. What was the process in terms of putting together the visuals and the mood and the sort of the camera movement style that you arrived on? Because it feels very like polished, and it feels very high end, and it feels very seamless at the same time.
Oh God, you're making my day, because when it's a 16-day thing, you're like, Jesus, did it come across what I wanted? Like, is it all there? Because I know this feeling. Like you have this entire vision, and then when you're running out of time in the day, you're like, okay, so we had 6 shots planned. I have time for 2.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
How do you choose? And for you just have to like go from the gut and pick what feels right, and that you couldn't live out, right? But for me, in particular, something that I think I've touched on so many times probably in this conversation already is the preparation. And if we aren't extremely prepared by the time we get there, in my opinion, and I also have anxiety, so I have to do this. If I don't feel over prepared and have all the questions like answered before I get there, like I will probably feel overwhelmed in that time. So I want to know that no matter what, I know what I'm shooting. It just depends how much time I'll know what ones to prioritize. And I prioritize it even on my shot list. I'm like, can't live without this, can't live without this. These are optional, you know? So for me, it's like a very, very detailed shot list. Each shot that I design there, the size, the mood, the coloring, the lighting, how close I am, what I want, how the movement, how I want to pull the audience in, like all of those different things. And also had to factor in how much time do I have? Okay, well, a dolly takes a lot more time than handheld takes. And if you get on Steadicam, you don't want to go off of Steadicam on to Steadicam, you know, like there's different things.
It's those swaps that kill you,
the swaps that kill you and like the setups that kill you, you know, like, again, I love dolly more than anything. I love creeping slowly in and I love abandoning on these really emotional moments and leaving them behind and watching them shrink. But it takes a long time to lay tracks to do this, to do that, like, you know. So sometimes you have to prioritize and it's like, well, I did have this design by this huge dolly shot to bring us in. Okay, well, that's not achievable. So you know, maybe I can do a zoom shot and have it only be one shot or like a ladder shot. And now like, it's, you know, at the ballpark, it's like, I have this big wide that's here. I'll have handheld and right here to make it an emotional piece. So I have three and now I have close, you know,
I mean, like that's the thing. Like when you have a really good, you know, really good sort of wide angle that, you know, and you've got good lenses, that the lighting's right. It can look incredibly cinematic. And same if you kind of, I mean, I noticed quite a lot of the sort of Hollywood handy cam style sort of, you know, shooting at times. And that feels, you know, it feels really weighted, especially when you're in those emotional moments. I mean, how did you find your cinematographer and begin that sort of collaboration?
Cy is like, I just couldn't love a person more. Cy Turnbull is his name. We worked on my first film together. The universe kind of just brought us together. Then it turned out we were a block from each other. I found like an editor was suggested to me for Continue.
Yeah.
I looked at their work and they had like 4 music videos with this dope cinematographer. And like the Killers video was the one that I was like, oh my God, this is sexy. You know, had like intimacy and this and that, but wide and style. And just like, it was so cool. And so I cold reached out to him for Continue and like found his website, found his email and was like, I have a film. I want to meet with you. He literally wrote back and was like, I leave for the UK for a job like tomorrow. He lives in the UK and he's British. And so he was like, any chance you can meet me tomorrow? I'm like, okay. And so he read the script that night. He came up with visuals, created an entire, because I had explained, like, for me to work with anyone on the film, I want to see the visuals you bring. I make these extremely detailed lookbooks. Like, that is what gets passed on because there's no question about what I'm going to do. I make a lookbook that tells you everything and shows you visuals.
Love a good lookbook.
Yeah, it's like my favorite part of like finding the vision.
Even if it takes, sometimes it's like you agonize for months over like one image because you're like looking for that perfect image that describes something, and it's so hard to find it. And then when you get it, it just shows off exactly what you're thinking. And
exactly,
it's a great sort of tool of communication to your HODs.
Exactly, but I try to not show my crew people until like my crew members until I've seen theirs too. Because what I started to find, which is like crazy, and if there's crew listening, it's like if I gave my lookbook ahead of time, they would just pull images from my lookbook. I'm like, if I wanted to see my vision, I look at my own lookbook. I want to see your vision. I don't want you to go what you said. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he showed up with this sick presentation of like how we kind of saw Continue and all of those things, right? So then he worked for free with me for like a year.
Wow.
Developing the entire feeling. And like, I basically shot listed the whole movie and then we went through the whole shot list together. Anyway, jumping from Continue, that project we did together, we love each other, became a very great collaborative process. Yeah. I was in every scene of that movie. So it was so much trust was built there. Yeah. And then there was numerous things that had come across my desk that I was like contemplating doing, you know, some that brought me on to do a full rewrite. So he was attached to some of those, and then Desperation Road came across my desk. he was like, I'm all in. And so we started working, and there's no funds in the beginning. Like, you're trying to make an indie film work, and he knows I produce most of the projects I'm on. So like, I'm making that investment into a project I'm trying to bring to life. And so he did as well. And we worked silently in the shadows when no one, like, you know what I mean? While no one else knows what the film is, we are working.
It's really important to have those people that like are with you, even if they're not necessarily doing, I'm not saying he obviously was doing a lot, but even if they're not doing anything, it's really important to feel like you have a team. I feel, especially before you've got like the finance or the big producer or the big sort of cast member, like anything you can do, sort of put that project together, or to have a sort of a sense of your crew really helps. I feel in terms of just keeping the momentum going and getting it to the point where it is actually a movie. So that sounds like a really good collaboration between the two of you.
Yeah, it is. And honestly, it puts your like frazzled nerves at ease. Like, once you have at least one key
that's it. Yeah.
Department, you're like, okay, I have my cinematographer.
Yeah.
So if we get the green light tomorrow, I'm not completely lost on like, okay, how do I put this together? You know, so like, you start slowly building the team. You know, I was meeting with production designers before I even had the That's trying to find the team that were really passionate about the story. But yes, long story short, Cy and I have an amazing relationship in shorthand. And, you know, for him, he's a big commercial cinematographer. I mean, he does so much big work. And so I think, the look on his face when he heard 16 days, I like was a little afraid he was going to exit the plane.
Like, he probably shoots commercials that are that long.
He does. He doesn't probably. Like, he did Coca-Cola. He's done.
Yeah.
And they shot film. Like, they're
like two words a day or something.
Literally, if there was even more, you know. So and he'd been through hell and back trying to shoot Continue. We ended up, and Continue was half the budget of Desperation Road, which not half. Like, way less. But and we had more days on Continue than we did on Desperation. So it was definitely intimidating, but that's when we were like, and we're so picky about locations.
Yeah. Well, you have to be, because like the locations make such a big difference to the mood and the feel. Like, it is building a world. It's massively world building. It's great. It's great you went out and did that initially as well. I always say to people, like, if you can afford to go out and recce your film before you even raise the money or do anything, it's just mood board material. It's showing initiative as well.
Well, and that's why. So at the end of most of my lookbooks, I then also have photos that me and Cy have gone and shot. You know, like, where it's like, this was the world I was imagining. This is the actual world.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I like to, again, as much preparation as I can feel that it's in my bones, so that when I'm on that set, I can answer everyone's questions, because I have discovered the answers that I need to have, you know, and I have a very strong perspective and vision from that at that point.
Yeah.
Then they're like, hi, all that preparation you did in Mississippi is all going to be taken away. Welcome to Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's huge and
good chicken.
Yeah, exactly. And good luck finding your locations. And we were just like, holy shit. And we have 3 weeks to do that.
Yeah.
And so it was just like that. It was me. No joke. It was me, Cy, and my production designer driving around for hours looking for places that stimulated us to build the world that we wanted to build.
Brilliant. Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You know those friends who support your preference for podcasts over music on road trips? That's the energy State Farm brings to insurance. With over 19,000 local agents, they help you find the coverage that fits your needs, so you can spend less time worrying about insurance and more time enjoying the ride. Download the State Farm app or go online at statefarm.com. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
LinkedIn is pretty amazing at helping you grow your small business. We cannot make your email response time faster. We can help you sell, market, and hire in one place. We cannot help you find space for your 3 desk drinks. Why do you have 3? And while we can't help you find the perfect volume for your presentation video, LinkedIn can help you find the perfect audience for your business. Grow your small business on LinkedIn. Learn more at linkedin.com/smallbusiness.
Hey, I just Venmo'd you for rent.
Nice.
Now I can instantly spend it whether I'm checking out online with Venmo or using a Venmo debit card.
Say more.
More exactly. Because the more you do with Venmo, the more you get. Like earning up to 5% cash back with Venmo Stash on a bundle of brands.
So, order more pizza.
The math demands it.
Get the Venmo debit card.
Venmo Stash bundle terms and exclusions apply. See terms at venmo.me/stash terms. Venmo checkout not available at all merchants. Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A.
So you talked about post-production. I want to make sure you get to talk about post-production. So this was your first kind of full experience diving into that world. Like what was the reality having shot for 16 days and then getting into the edit? Like, was it everything? Did you manage to get everything that you hoped for? Was there any pickup days? How did that process kind of unfold?
Yeah, so Continue is where I cut my teeth. That was my first experience ever with post-production. But I basically leveled up in such a huge way from one to the next. You know, like everyone who I worked with was like, you're like a different human. You just understand it. You understand it in a completely different way once you've got your head around it. You know, you're like, okay, this is where I can save things like that need to be saved. That I don't have to kill a darling because I think I can make this work by this. You know. But so there was no pickup days with Desperation Road. It was the 16 days, and that was it.
16-day wonder.
Yeah. And with there was a few scenes that kept me up at night when I came home. You know, like you come home from 16 days and you're just kind of like, do we have it? Is it there? And like, there were definitely days in the mix there that I was losing things that were very upsetting to me, you know, because we had this distinct vision. And again, like, you know, whether you agree with me or not, this is my stance. Like, everyone on a production can have a bad film except for the director.
Yeah.
We are held to a very high standard. And if you screw up, like, you might not be given the chance. And I hate to sound negative, but it's true. Like, I've been, you know, mentioning this. I think I listened to a interview, whether this is just true or not, but I heard something like it's only 2% of female directors ever get a second film. So I'm already amongst 2%. Don't quote me if the percent's higher than that. Thank God, that's terrifying if it's really only 2%. But so there's a lot of pressure. So I was definitely, you know, of like, I care too deeply. And so everything matters to me. And so I came home and there were some scenes that I was worried might not cut. And so I established this style of layering so that maybe some of those, like, I'm saying this to you as a director because I'm like,
I know. Yeah. So where you mean you're playing on a shot without dialogue and then you're playing the dialogue to sort of cut into it, or?
No, that's like a prelapse. I do that a lot too, but no, like, the assault or the running from the assault. You know how I have flashes and then I layer, so you see Mabon, but you also see like another version of Mabon, and it's like layering images because I was like, okay, those things don't cut. What's an interesting artistic way? Now it's art.
Well, it works. I suppose it's about setting a rule, isn't it? It's like if you use it a couple of times and it works, and you're already establishing a few of these you know, flares creatively, then again, like it's congruent with the overall story, and maybe it's better than if you hadn't done it that way. I mean, sometimes it's those moments where you find something really unexpected but amazing.
Yeah, well, and it's like you establish a style. Once I knew it worked, I was like, and I do. I try and find a style for each film. I wanted them all to feel a little different, and we embodied a different way of doing it in each one so that they feel uniquely like my film. So once I did the assault and saw that the assault worked the way I wanted it to work with the layered images, and that's how I always wanted it to feel, like disassociation.
Yeah.
And like you're there and you're uncomfortable, but you're also not, if that makes sense. Like you're kind of distant from it because that's what a lot of trauma feels like. You're like over here, you know? So it was like, and I didn't want it to be, you know, traumatizing, like triggering for people who that might be their.
Yeah, it's finding the balance, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. So once my editor, I was like, this is my idea. Like, I want to see this. And once she did it and like, I'm like, faster. And she's like, did it. I was like, that's it. That is what we're doing in the car crash. That is what we're doing in that moment.
Yeah.
And so once she understood that and we understood that, it was like, great. Now, through this artistic way of doing this, things don't have to perfectly add up. We're doing them in the artistic way that we want to do.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I didn't like the shot where Maven turns and sees the car, but I'm like, but with a layered image, maybe I did, and it's just like, so it's making us fall in love with what we got and making it work and turning it into an artistic way that I am excited by. That is like always the mission, right? Once I established, like, there was this one part I didn't want in the film. So I pre-lapsed and I'm like, that's the style that will be used 1,000 different times. And now it's a style. So like, I've now heard from multiple people, like, I love how you'll bring us into a scene with words and then you come in on a moment. I'm like, wanted to cut 3 lines that I didn't like. But it is.
But it works. Like, it works. Because it gets to what you need, and the thing is, a visual moment is just as valuable on a great actor's performance as a word is. That's what you're looking for, really. And how did you? I talked about the music earlier as this kind of courage in trauma. So that's kind of how it felt to me. How did the composing inform? Like, at what point did you kind of choose the direction that it's gone in, basically?
For me, in almost all my projects, I want a heartbeat. And I don't know if you maybe picked up on this, but I want your heart to match what my drum is doing, right? So I tell him, I want you to get their heart pumping. So I need the heartbeat. I need it to constantly be elevating. And so he finds and hides my heartbeat in almost every song.
Amazing.
Every tense moment. And so anyone who's listening to this, who goes and watches Desperation Road, like, listen to the assault or listen to any of those things. And or when he's clearing the house with the gun, it's like, and it's speeding up because I want you to feel so anxious, and that's always my mission through the music, is to make you feel what they're feeling through the performance, through the music, through all of it. So it's definitely a tall order that I ask of every person, and especially my composers. But like, that's why when it's done, like, I am so proud of the music in this. Like,
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Yeah.
And people like didn't want to give us a little extra time, and they didn't think we needed live. I'm like, I'll die on this cross. I'm giving up.
I mean, the thing is, like, if you're, the difference between your audience getting to like a 6 or a 7, how they're feeling at a movie, or a 9, is the difference between them raving about it to all their friends, and shouting and screaming from the rooftops that it's an amazing, life-changing film. And it's hard to get into the mindset sometimes from the sort of the business, cold removed side of things. It's like, well, we can't do this and we can't do that. But actually, some of these creative decisions are so valuable to the film's success, because it's not those kind of surface level things that hook people and make money. It's the stuff underneath.
And producers can believe that the audience, like, I don't want to sound negative, but like that the audience is dumb and that they won't notice, and that they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Like, I am a human being who has escaped, like, through cinema my whole life. I love it. And all of the films that have stuck with me all my life are the ones that made me feel something that I didn't know that a film could make me feel. It surprised me and shocked me, like The Sixth Sense. I talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
You remember, I just got chills as I said it. You remember that feeling of being like, holy shit, you duped me. A film can trick me.
Yeah. For me, it was The Game.
Yes, The Game. I mean, David tattooed on my arm, so I love him.
Yeah.
So like The Game, yes. Like they tricked you, but like, do you remember the feeling? Maybe, I don't know if you like this movie as much as I do, but Requiem for a Dream.
Oh yeah. Devastating movie.
I was like nauseous. I was like dying. But it made me realize a film can make you do that. Girl Interrupted. Like, those are the films that shaped me as a creator.
Yeah.
Made me go, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Because we can do more. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love entertaining films. I cried when I watched the new Top Gun Maverick. Like,
that's like, an astonishing film.
Yeah, I don't even really have an interest in doing these like magnificently like entertaining, like more jets and like all the. I was so moved by the level of creation that they went through and that I'm like, you have put every person in this room in awe today. And that is what excites me about cinema. We can fucking affect people, you know? And that's why I'm like, okay, you don't care about live orchestra? Well, I'll pay this money out of my pocket because I do and I know it will matter.
Yeah.
You don't care if there's a camera shot or this or that because no one will notice. I do.
Yeah.
So I'm out of my own pocket to make sure that we've cleaned up this or cleaned up that. Like, it all matters. And if we continue to carry ourselves at the level that we want to see done, no matter what it costs or takes, like, in the end, that's why in 10 years, I'll look at this film. While it might not have been what I always imagined, I'm still so proud of what we did in that time. You know?
And so you should be. It's a fantastic film. Can I get one last bit of advice that you might offer your younger self, maybe trying to break it into the industry?
That is a beautiful thing to ask. And 2 things immediately came to my mind. And those are the things I try and always follow that gut reaction. First is being incredibly yourself. Like, there is only one you, right? And your voice and your vision is unique. And the more you lean into that voice and that uniqueness and who you are, like, I feel like a lot of my younger years, I was trying to be what they wanted me to be or what I thought a person should be that was in that position or whatever it is. And it was like the second I went, screw that. I'm me. I'm extremely vulnerable. I'm this. I care about everything. I this and that and that. And those are the things that make me unique. And like, I might not be for every person, but I think my people will find me. So I would say to the younger me and to anyone who's listening this is like, those things about yourself.
They're strengths.
Yes, they're strengths because no one else possesses that. We are all individual. Like, my trauma is what makes me
a good filmmaker,
formed as a human being. It makes me a great filmmaker because each and every one of those struggles formed the person I am today. And now I know I can get through a lot of shit, you know? So it's like, rather than pretending that's not part of my past, I'm so open about it. And it helps people to connect. The more open you are, the more other people are going to be open. And you can have this beautiful dialogue and relationship because we're both being authentic. And that's where beauty comes from. Like, what other mission do we have as a director other than to create truly authentic, grounded work? Well, you get that by being yourself. And the second thing I have to say, because it was the first thing that popped up as well, is the script. The script. Because my younger self was like, well, I'll keep my scenes in because, like, if we do end up with time, I'd rather have that scene than not. That's what you think. Let me tell you, my first cut of Continue, my first film, was 3 hours and 40 minutes. Longer than the Titanic. Who wants to go on a ride on a film about depression and suicide prevention? 3 hours and 40 minutes.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And like, I mean, Cassian literally says to this day, I have absolutely no idea how you captured that in 19 days. Like, how did you even get that much footage? I don't know. I really don't know. But what I can tell you is when you're cutting it and cutting it and cutting it, there's nothing more painful than knowing I could have saved maybe $150,000 or $200,000 had I not shot any of those scenes, and I had more times for the scenes that, and your gut almost always knows, like, this is a filler. Now, as a creator, as I write my scripts, I'll get through it and be like, oh, I love this scene. And I'm like, you're never going to fucking keep that.
Yeah. I love getting rid of those scenes that you kind of like, but when you like really look at them and you just realize it's not needed. And then as soon as you go, if you don't miss it, then you just know.
And even sometimes I miss it, but
okay,
I'm like,
yeah.
Oh, but no, but you're 100% right. If you don't miss it, like, that is the strongest sign, like, get that thing out of there. But sometimes you will miss it.
But it wasn't right anyway.
But it wasn't right anyways, because you already said it in this scene. Why do they need a second scene? You know, like, there's even a moment like Desperation Road, for example. I knew the second scene with Garrett and his ex, Sarah,
Mm.
that it wasn't necessary. But I love love. I'm a hopeless romantic. My production company is Hopeful Romantics. So like I wanted to come back to the love.
Yeah.
It got cut. It's in the deleted scenes. It was not necessary, and I freaking knew it. And so again, if you make those hard decisions, as heartbreaking as they are, it gives you more time to focus on your vision when you are on that set. And I say this all the time. You will never have enough time, and you will never have enough money. Christopher Nolan still probably feels
he
like
pushed for time.
shit
Yeah.
when he's crashing the one jet he has and like floating a bomb that looks like an atomic bomb. Like, you know, so it's like the pressures will always be there because your vision is growing, your budget is growing, the story is growing, your days, all of those things. You'll still feel the same feeling you're feeling in your 16-day production or your 19-day production, which is, if it's not vital, put the rest of that time into what is vital and what is important. And the harder you are on that script before you get there, as painful as it will be, the better position you are in. Because like Michael Smith's first draft was 130 pages.
Wow.
Bro, like, right. In what world is an indie film going to be able to make 130? Especially when we found out we had 16 days. So I cut that bitch down to like 92, you know? That was painful, especially for Michael.
Yeah. And that's the kind of length the producer enjoys as well.
Yeah. I mean, the producers were like, please, Nadine, like, talk to Michael. We're never going to get this. I'm like, I know. And luckily Michael is so like game. Like if you come to him and you're like, let me explain, he's like, okay. Like, let's do this and let's get to the bottom of what's vital. And anyway, so I'm very long-winded, but that is my advice.
Amazing. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting, and I really do recommend everyone goes out and watches Desperation Road, because it is a gripping and very emotional thriller. So, let's end the recording now.
So there we have it. That was Nadine Crocker. As I told you, wasn't she amazing? That was her and Dom Lenoir talking about her journey as a filmmaker and her latest feature film, Desperation Road, which is out now on Prime. Go seek it out and support Nadine, if nothing else, because she's given you her time and her knowledge and so much great advice there. So if you can, go watch this film. Link to it will be in the show notes. What about you? What are you going to do this week to get your films, your TV shows, you as a screenwriter, you as a person, as a producer out there this week? Times are still tough. There's no question about it. Jobs are scarce and sparse. But did you go to Raindance? Did you go to LFF? Were you around? Did you put your face in the water bowl, as it were, and swill it round and just say hello? That's what's good about film festivals, is you can go up to anyone and say hello. I will be at Raindance tonight. I'm going to see Stuart White, who was my cinematographer on Wolves of War, and watch his latest Lens film, Warhol, which was directed by Adam Ethan Crow, who we must get on the podcast very soon. So if you are heading down there, say hello. Pop and say hello to me, and tell me what you're up to. And try and do that to anyone else. That's how you grow in this industry. That's how you meet people. That's how people know about you. If you're sitting at home by yourself all the time, people won't know about you. A tweet now and again won't get you seen. You've got to put yourself out there and do it and get in the mix. It's hard, I know. It's not easy to do it. But sometimes you just have to. So what else are you doing? I hope you are doing something to make your films and TV shows happen, and you're believing in yourself, even through the tough times when you think your script isn't good enough or your project isn't good enough. You are good enough. And that's all that matters. You want to do this business. You want to make a success of this business, and you want to be a filmmaker. Then keep going and believe in yourself. And if you are lucky enough to rise up and do well, then it is your duty to send the elevator back down. We will see you next week when we have either Adam Seagal and Claire Bateman-King talking about Nandor Fordor and the Talking Mongoose, or it's the team behind David Fincher's Mank. Or it could be a Business of Film episode. Who knows? Who knows? whole week before then. Anyway, thank you for listening. Really appreciate your time. Go out there, make something happen for you. Take care and see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.